It's time to enter the grid.
We are here for a TRON annual pass holder preview, so we are going to tell you all the things that you need to know. This ride's a little bit different, so we're sharing some tips with you tonight. Let's go! TRON Lightcycle Run is a brand new coaster that is here in Magic Kingdom. It officially opens on April 4th. We're here previewing it tonight, so we're going to show you a little bit of what it's all about. But this coaster, I won't lie, we have ridden it already and it's pretty fun. But we're going to share some tips with you. It is based off of TRON the movie, so if you're familiar with that at all, there are lots of details that kind of nod back to this movie.
The most important thing that you need to know about TRON when it officially opens is that it will be using a virtual queue system and will also be a part of the individual attraction selection. With the virtual queue, this is not, you can't just go stand in a line. You do have to get that virtual boarding group for that ride. These do become available at 7 a.m., but you do have to make sure you have a park pass for Magic Kingdom whenever you do want to plan to get in that boarding group. However, if you do not get a boarding group, a great backup to still be able to ride TRON when you're here at Magic Kingdom is to get what's called an individual attraction selection or an individual lightning lane. They're kind of interchangeable terms. However, you do have to buy this. It is an additional cost. You don't have to have Genie Plus for it, but keep in mind that that individual attraction selection, because it is a brand new ride, will probably be pretty expensive, although it does have flexible pricing. So just check the app when you're here to get the exact pricing details.
If you are traveling anytime this summer or during the warm months, do be aware that kind of similar to how Slinky Dog Dash is, pretty much all of the queue is outside. There's a little portion of it that is inside, but a lot of it is outside. So if it's a long line day, make sure you have water with you, make sure you have a hat or maybe an umbrella. They do have these giant fans like right before you get inside, so there is a little bit of relief there, but if the queue is extended, just be aware. It will be warm during the day. These ride vehicles are a little bit different from other coasters or really any other ride here at Disney World. You do sit on a motorcycle type vehicle, but the way that the restraints are can be really uncomfortable if you're not sitting in them properly. So the best tips that I can say is that when you sit down, you are gonna kind of have to like kneel in the seat. Make sure you push your feet all the way back and then kind of like as you pull the restraint down, you're kind of gonna pull your leg forward a little bit. The pin that comes out should be in the crook of your knee. Sometimes if you don't do it quite right, it'll sit like right on your calf and it does pinch a little bit. Speaking from personal experience, not the best thing, so just don't be afraid to kind of wiggle a little bit. Do try out that tester seat that they have before the ride, especially if you are someone that has like a little bit curvier calves or you are a little bit bigger, just to make sure that you're not uncomfortable when you get to the actual ride vehicle. Another important note about boarding, they want you to board on both sides. So you'll see when you walk into the queue, like when you're getting ready to get onto the ride, you'll see A and B. One of those, A, you're going to go directly into the ride vehicle in front of you. B, you're gonna walk behind the ride vehicle around and then you're gonna get on from that side. This is really helpful and great because you're not trying to climb over one of the ride vehicles to get to the other one. So just be aware of where you're standing. It's pretty easy, it'll tell you. The easiest thing, just look down at your feet and follow the arrows on the ground.
If you're someone like us that loves to document your trip to Disney and you have questions about filming on this ride, this is super important to note that you can only really take a GoPro with a chest mount. That's how we filmed on the ride. We did bring a little wrist strap, but the cast members, I did ask them before we got on the attraction, and she said that was a no-go, but that we could do our chest mount strap, whatever you want to call it. Kayla also has a little like string on her phone that clips onto her actual case. They also said that that was a no-go as well. So when in doubt, if you have a GoPro, bring your chest strap. That's going to be the best way possible to film on this attraction. However, this really only applies to in the actual ride vehicle itself. In the queue, before you like get past the point in the lockers, that's a different situation. We brought our camera. That's how we filmed the actual trains going under the canopy, all of that. That was all filmed on our actual camera. But the ride itself was all on our GoPro. Speaking of lockers, because you can't take cameras, things like that, larger items like backpacks and such, they do implement a locker system. The best way possible to explain this is kind of very similar to universal lockers. If you're familiar with those, is that you'll scan either your Magic Band, your park ticket, whatever you use to get into the front of the park to scan in, that's what you will use to unlock this locker, with the exception that you cannot use a mobile park ticket. So, for example, I have my annual pass within my Apple Wallet. This will not work to unlock the lockers at Tron. So, if that is what you used to get into the front of the park, ask a cast member, and they do have little tickets that you can use to secure your locker when it's time for you to board the attraction. And with these lockers, they're very, very similar if you've ridden Velocicoaster over at Universal. Basically, you go on one side of the locker, you put everything on this side, and then when you get off, you're gonna grab all your items on the way out on the other side of the locker. So just note that like if you do shove items all the way in the back, they're gonna be prone to possibly falling out once you open the door on the other side of that locker. Try to remember your number. Either do a number that's easy to remember, or another thing that we love to do is just simply take a picture on your phone of your locker number, because unlike bigger cameras, things like that, you can take your phone, which brings me to my next point of their on-vehicle storage. Right when you get on, you're gonna pull your handlebar down, and that will basically bring up the back restraint and the pins that lock in your legs. And right by those handlebars is a little flap that kind of lifts up. It doesn't like snap shut or anything, you just simply pull it up. And there is a light in there, which I love to make sure that when you lift that door up, you can make sure you have all your belongings. This is a great spot to put keys, phones, things like that you don't obviously want falling out.
That attraction is so amazing. We actually got to ride in the front row, which is a totally different ride.
We did ask the cast member if we could ride the front row, and that may or may not always be the case that they're able to accommodate. So, if you do ask for the front row and they say no,
just be graceful with it and take what they get you, because
Yes.
honestly, anywhere is really fun. The ride itself is really cool. It is a short attraction. It's only about a minute long. However, for a Magic Kingdom coaster, I don't feel like it is like too short. Like
Right.
it feels
I would agree.
appropriately short for a Magic Kingdom coaster.
I am so glad that Magic Kingdom has another big thrill ride. It is a pretty intense coaster. There were little kids riding it that I was like, wow, this is...
You're tall enough to ride this?
Yeah, it does have a 48-inch height requirement. So that is important to note. I think it's one of the highest height requirements here in Magic Kingdom. And a great pro tip is that if you do have little ones that are wanting to ride that ride, make sure you measure them beforehand before you come and try to get on this attraction.
And to be safe, make sure they're a little bit over that height requirement, because you would hate to get here and then they not be quite tall enough.
Yeah, right. But overall, if you can get on that front row, it's a great spot. But honestly, any row is great. It's a great, great ride, great attraction here at Magic Kingdom and Tomorrowland.
I feel like the theming of this attraction, I was a little worried that it would be almost a little bit too high tech. I love the futuristic feel that it has, but I also love the retro vibes that fit very well with both the movie and with Tomorrowland itself.
100%. Overall, if you can get that virtual queue when it first opens, or if you can't get that individual attraction selection like I mentioned earlier, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. If you can ride it at night, we've been very lucky. This was actually our third time riding Tron, and we've ridden both in kind of like golden hour and then at night, and I will say nighttime is spectacular. If you can time it Definitely do it
Good
at
luck,
night.
because virtual queues, you can't really control that. But if you get lucky and can ride it at night, go you. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed following along. We hope these tips were helpful for you, because I know Tron is definitely not your normal attraction here at Disney, so hopefully this cleared things up.
Of course, if you do have questions for us about our experience, especially with the seats, because I know that's been a big question for a lot of people, definitely let us know. Message us on Instagram, comment your questions below in the comments. We'd love to be able to chat with you.
That's all we have for you guys today.
Now
go create your ever after.
Attention users, you are about to be digitized into the world of Tron. Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron.
To win, every member of Team Blue must pass through 8 energy gates before their opponents. Stick together. It's your only hope for victory. In the light cycle run, there are winners and there are losers.